We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been getting bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your weekly morning show where we bring you the latest in everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the rally that Bitcoin has been in over just the last couple of weeks, just over the last several days, being in danger. Over the last 72 hours, Bitcoin has been undergoing a major correction down to a level of support that it has found at the trend catcher on Lux Algo. And right now, it looks like Bitcoin is falling below that, which puts the entire Lux Algo buy signal in danger of capitulation and leads us to a conclusion that the short-term rally on Bitcoin is in danger of coming to an end. In this episode of Coffee and Crypto Live, we're going to be breaking down exactly why that breakdown could be the end of the rally that we were hoping for. And I'm going to refer you to some resources on why I think that is occurring. If you guys are looking forward to today's stream, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that post notification bell. Helps to support the channel greatly, but it also helps me to know that you guys are enjoying the content. So let's go ahead and read some chat. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We got a lot of people in chat this morning. Mike Lowry is first. He said, morning. Good morning to you as well. Dan Nolan said, run now, run now. Run now, run now. That's a great song. Hutch Casey said, good morning, everyone. Joe Bollier said, good morning, Jeb. Richard Harrington said, Jeb. Good morning, Richard. Grand Roofing Incorporated said, good morning, everyone. Mike Lowry said, like the smashes. Definitely remember to like the smashes, guys. Come on. Philly Skills 1428 said, morning, Jeb. How's it going, man? It is well with my soul. It is very, very well. Sean Galt said, Jeb, good morning. Good morning to you, too. Jeb on time. Nice. Boom. Yep, we're starting a new trend. We're going to start a new trend of being on time. How about that? Crypto Mini Bike in chat said, good morning, everyone. Wisely T, I was actually just reading your comment over here. I'll give you a big old shout out. I was just reading your comment over here on our most recent video. If you guys have not watched this video, you should definitely go watch it. I think this is honestly one of the best videos that we have ever made on the Crypto Jeb YouTube channel. Tell us in chat if you agree. Wisely T said a lot here. I was just reading this. He said, I like you explain the debt ceiling with that analogy. While I agree that spending more than you bring in is extremely dumb and not sustainable, I want to be somewhat understanding that none of us watching have any idea what it takes to run the most powerful country in the world. You make a very good point there, Wisely Team. That being said, you can't run a deficit forever, and I think you know that because you also addressed that in your comment. But I just want to give you a shout out. The response on that video was overwhelmingly positive. We had so many comments of people saying, loving these reports, very good breakdown. Wisely T, you seem to really be engaged with it. People really liked that video. It didn't get a ton of views. I don't think YouTube pushed it in the algorithm because you guys are not used to seeing that kind of content from me, but I really think the channel's starting to come into its own. So make sure you go and check out that video. I'm so excited about the kind of like artwork that we're making on YouTube with these new videos. All right, let's go ahead and jump straight on into CoinMarketCap. As I said, really appreciate all of you tuning in. Right now, Bitcoin is trading at $26,900. It is down 0.5% over the last 24 hours. We are down 0.25% over the last 24 hours on Ethereum, sitting at 1862. We're up 3.5% over the last 7 days on ETH and up 2% over the last 7 days on Bitcoin. But the point of today's stream has much more to do with Bitcoin than with anything else. So let's go ahead and jump straight on to the Bitcoin chart. All right. Bitcoin right now is in a major rally, and that major rally is coming under its own fire. We're going to talk about that in the Saturday video where we talk about what's coming up next for Bitcoin and what some of the major causes for concern are right now. But to get started with, we're actually going to look at the shorter term timeframes on Bitcoin and look at the rally that was to be but now seems to not be on its way. Bitcoin has been in this falling trading channel for the last 2 months, and inside of that falling trading channel, Bitcoin has been pretty safe. It has not gone too far to the upside, getting overextended. It has not dropped too far to the downside, causing unnecessary FUD and a major market crash. Instead, Bitcoin has been going through this gradual, slow but sure, and healthy, I should add, corrective movement. There's a middle line in here. You can see it right there. And Bitcoin is currently coming back and backtesting that. And now the question is whether or not Bitcoin will manage to hold above that more or less center line of this downtrending level of downtrending trading channel, or if Bitcoin will be able to hold. Right now, Bitcoin is also falling below trend catcher on Lux Algo. You can see Bitcoin had a buy signal come into play here on about the 28th of May, 2023. Bitcoin went into a rally, it broke above the trend catcher. And if you remember two streams ago, I believe it was on either Monday or Tuesday, we talked about how Bitcoin had 4 major confirmations, but it needed several more. I believe it was the day before yesterday, actually, on Tuesday. I talked about how Bitcoin had seen a buy signal. We had seen RSI jump above 50. We'd seen a buy signal on Lux Algo, a bullish cross on the MACD, and a cross above 50 on the RSI. I also spoke about how Bitcoin had broken above the 50 daily exponential moving average here on its daily chart. All of those were very bullish signs, but they were not enough. I also told you that for Bitcoin to really go into a major rally, it needed to break above resistance here at 28,545, needed to break above resistance here at 28,000, and needed to break above resistance here on this downtrending level of resistance. Bitcoin was not able to do that. It only managed to rally up to 28,545, and it rejected. That's where I said that we had 4 buy confirmations, but we needed 3 more to really have a lot of confidence in the rally. Until that point, I would not be interested in entering into any kind of trades. Instead, we were going to wait a little while and let Bitcoin prove itself. And so Bitcoin failed to prove itself in that rally, and now it's undergoing this correction, and that's where the point of today's video and stream comes in. Bitcoin's rally is in danger, and I want to talk a little bit about why it's in danger and where it is going to be heading next. Thank you guys so very much for everyone who is tuning in. We've got a lot of people joining live right now. So make sure, if you are excited for today's video, to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. By the way, I want to ask this question on a lot more Coffee and Cryptos. I would love to hear what topics you would like to discuss. You would like for me to discuss over on our video series, Climate of Crypto, Fence Off Financials, and Up Next. Those are our 3 big series over on YouTube. Climate of Crypto, that's where we talk about everything having to do with what's going on in Bitcoin that's really causing the movement and the shaking in cryptocurrency. So we're talking about the big brush strokes. When we talk about Up Next, we're talking about what's coming next for a cryptocurrency market. So for example, on Bitcoin, what does the next month look like? That's what we break down about once a month on Up Next for Bitcoin. And then of course, Fence Off Financials, I like to make about 1 or 2 of those a month. That's a series where I teach you guys a little bit about personal finance, because I believe that investing in the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market needs to be part of a holistic strategy to build your wealth in cryptocurrency, but also in every way. It's not just my dream and my vision to help you guys become better traders or better investors or better technical analysts in the crypto space. It is to help you and your family achieve something that I and my family call financial sovereignty. And everyone I talk to about this, it resonates with them so strikingly. Financial sovereignty is the idea of having total and complete control, authority, and dominion over your finances, and not the other way around. So many Americans, including the United States federal government, are in bondage to their finances, and they are having to make all of their life decisions around whether or not it will help to stave off bankruptcy. I want you to be successful in a way that you are not necessarily, not to the point where, oh, you can go buy a 17th Lambo, but I want you to not have to worry about paying your bills. I want you to not have to worry about whether or not you'll be able to make your mortgage payment. I want you to not worry about the shackles of debt. I want you guys to be able to be in a financially sovereign position so that you can go forward and you can focus on what God has called you to and whatever it is that your life has been purposed and destined towards. And I guarantee you it is not worrying about money. I promise you the purpose of your life is not to worry about money all day. The purpose of your life is something different. It's to serve the Lord, but there's a lot of other purposes that can be on top of that as well. Whatever your purpose in life is, whatever it is that you are destined and called to do, I promise you, worrying about making ends meet is not your calling. And so I want to help you to make that not be a problem anymore so that you can be freed up to focus on what you're really called to. And so that's the ultimate point of this channel, is not just to analyze cryptocurrencies, but to help you guys become financially sovereign. And we do that largely through the lens of looking at cryptocurrency, stocks, geopolitics, macroeconomic finance, and etc. So if you're interested in learning how to become financially sovereign, I highly encourage you to watch the channel and make sure to watch those videos that come out every single day. Watch the stream that comes out every single day and those videos that come out twice a week. All right, let's go ahead and jump back onto it Really appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Oops, I was looking at the video over here. I meant to go to TradingView. Here we go. So the point of today's video, as we said in the title, is that the Bitcoin rally is in danger. I like to address that very early on here in Coffee and Crypto because I want you guys to know why I put what I put in the title. You know, many people are like, oh my goodness, you're just clickbaiting me. You just said something to get me on the stream. Obviously, there is an element of thumbnails and titles that is marketing. Obviously, we're working to get you guys to watch the video because I have something that I think can benefit your life. And of course, obviously, this is a business. This is we want to grow the channel, but ultimately, I want to help you guys. But I don't ever lie to you in the thumbnails. I don't ever lie to you in the titles. And the Bitcoin rally that we've been under over the last week and a half is in danger of coming to an ultimate conclusion. Let's go ahead and look at why. To look at why, we first have to understand kind of where Bitcoin is and where Bitcoin has been. There have been major dark clouds over Bitcoin that we've spoken about on Coffee and Crypto relatively recently. At risk of repeating myself, I will be brief in reminding you what I'm talking about. We have had so many bearish events attacking the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency market recently. We have had the Securities and Exchange Commission coming after BUSD and Paxos, the issuer. We've had the Securities and Exchange Commission's chairman, Gary Gensler, say that pretty much everything besides Bitcoin is a security. We had a 0.1% drop on CPI and a sideways movement for core inflation, which led to a lot of bearishness in crypto because Bitcoin has been kind of riding on the coattails of major CPI drops. That season, that era is likely over. Inflation is likely to get much more sticky below 5%. We also saw a 25 basis point rate hike when many people were hoping for a pause. And then when we thought there was going to be a pause next time, now the CME group, CME Fed Watch tool, I'll just go ahead and show you. The CME group is now predicting, and I am also predicting that the next effective federal funds rate decision, well, actually, CME is going back and forth. Wow, now they're predicting a pause. Okay, so yesterday they were predicting a rate hike, but nevertheless, they are still predicting that there's a good likelihood of a rate hike. At this point, I think that there probably will be a rate hike. It's obviously up in the air, but many people were basically pricing in that there was going to be a Fed rate pause. There's at least now a lot more uncertainty, and many people are thinking that there will be another Fed rate hike as a result of inflation becoming very sticky. On top of that, we've got this debt ceiling nightmare, and we've also got not so much a nightmare because it's not really that scary if you study it. It's more of a fiasco. It's a debt ceiling fiasco. That's a better word for it. And then, of course, we've also got other just general pressures on the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency market. We've got an economy that is very difficult to go and invest in high-risk tech stocks. We've seen the tech stocks struggling very hard. We've also seen the stock market struggling. The Dixie's been rallying. All of these things do not provide a very strong backdrop for Bitcoin to rally on. The good news, and this was our real conclusion of yesterday's video, yesterday's stream, was that Bitcoin has managed to see a very healthy correction. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing unhealthy. If anything, to be honest with you, it could do with being a little bit larger. This correction has been mostly healthy and is nothing that we should worry about. The conclusion of yesterday's stream came very simply as this. Bitcoin correcting in the way that it has is nothing that we should worry about, despite the fact that we've had so much stacked against us. So now that we kind of understand where we are, at least from the canvas perspective, of course, I like to talk about crypto in the light of Bitcoin is drawing on a canvas, and what's going on the canvas is very important to what's going on Bitcoin. You know, if you're a painter, you'll know the negative space behind the subject is actually just as important and a lot of times more important than what the subject looks like. For me, for example, I put a lot of time and thought into this set, into the lights right there and the Crypto Jeb blue, that wood over there, the silver play button, the watch, and the belt up there. I won, what am I trying to say? Influencer Award Crypto Jeb for #1 cryptocurrency technical analyst in 2021. I got that sent to me. So I put a lot of time into preparing the negative space behind me. Like, this is not even the focus. This is all bokeh out. You know, you can't even really see all of this. It's real. It's not a green screen, by the way. Like, I don't do green screens, but put a lot of time and attention into that, even though that's not the focus of the video. And the reason is the backdrop of what's going on in a painting is very, very, very important. And so Bitcoin's backdrop right now and always is very, very important. So what's going on in macroeconomic finance? What's going on in commercial real estate? What's going on with the debt ceiling? What's going on with the war in Ukraine, a potential war between China and Russia, China and Taiwan. What's going on with, what's the other one I was trying to say? Interest rates. Yes, there's another topic there that was on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, the point is what's going on in the background is very, very important for Bitcoin. So we understand the background. We understand where Bitcoin has been. Let's talk technically now where Bitcoin is. Through all of this negativity, Bitcoin has been going through a major drop, and it originally dropped down to the 50 daily exponential moving average. Then it dropped down to the 100 daily exponential moving average, rejected from the 50, dropped down to the 100 once again. Then briefly we broke up and broke through the 50, but now we're coming back down and back testing it. All of this shows us that Bitcoin is following a very healthy bull market correction pattern. If we look into the last several years on Bitcoin, many times during the bull market, especially in the 2016-17 bull market, which was a market driven mostly by intra-market intra-market fundamentals, that being fundamentals that are taking place inside of crypto, rather than the 2021 Bitcoin bull market, which was largely driven by hype and speculation coming from outside the market. The 2016-17 market, in short, gives us the best, example of what a Bitcoin bull market looks like when it's very slow, healthy, and nominal. Many times what would happen is the Bitcoin would fall back test the 50. I'll show you I'll show you where the market was when I got into crypto. I got into crypto July 31st, 2017. This is June and July of 2017. So this is this part of the market has a very special place in my heart. Bitcoin came down and corrected to the 50 DEMA multiple times. Then it came down and corrected down to the 100, dropped again, broke through the 50. And then when it managed to break through the 50 and then hold it as support, then Bitcoin was off to the races. That's where we need to see Bitcoin going next. We need to see Bitcoin going off to the races, except the way that it does it is going to be very important. Remember that analogy I just showed you back to the 2016-17 bull market. Bitcoin broke through the 50, back tested the 50, held it, and rallied. In this case, Bitcoin broke through the 50 aggressively, very strongly, fell down to the 50, back tested, broke through it. That means that this break above the 50 is now invalidated, which means that even though this Lux Algo buy signal has not been reversed just yet, it will likely be coming pretty soon if Bitcoin continues to the downside. At this point, what seems to be likely is that Bitcoin will drop down to at least the 100 DEMA, which is sitting at 26,500, so that's another $400 drop. And from there, Bitcoin very well may and probably will continue its drop down to 25,236, which would be absolutely phenomenal. I would love it. I would love it so much if Bitcoin dropped down to 25,236, and I'll tell you exactly why. To understand, we first have to analyze the longer-term the longer-term macro environment for Bitcoin's chart. And that's why we happen to be charting on this long-term price prediction chart that I've set up and that I put into a video several months ago. If you go to Crypto Jeb, the YouTube channel, there is a video that I put out several months ago right here. A clock will send Bitcoin to $50,000, Bitcoin price prediction. You can see the chart right here in the background of the thumbnail, and that's this chart, in case you can't tell. That is the exact same chart. I've had this chart on here for quite some time. This red zone right here is sitting between 25,236 and 28,545. That red zone is what I call the transitionary zone. I want you to notice something that Bitcoin's been doing relatively recently. Bitcoin in March came up and tested the top of the transitionary zone because the market was moving up into the transitionary zone. We hit our head against the top over and over before briefly breaking above it. Now, Bitcoin is coming down and testing the bottom of the transitionary zone, and I am hoping and praying that it will get down to 25,236 and test it. And then even if it drops a little bit below it, essentially what that would be representing is Bitcoin doing exactly what it did here in late March and early April, upside down, coming and testing the extreme of the transitionary zone. In this case, we tested the top side of it. In this case, we'd be testing the bottom side of it. In this case, 28,545. This case, 25,236. If we test it a few times, bounce off of it, and hold it, then what we have just done by doing that, by coming down and testing 25,236, is that Bitcoin has proven, if that occurs, that the transitionary zone is now support. Let me say that again. If Bitcoin manages to hold the transitionary zone, even if it breaks a little bit to the bottom, a little bit out of it to the bottom, down to around 24.5, even if it does that, then I'll tell you what happens. Bitcoin then, therefore, confirms the transitionary zone as a major support zone. And if it does that, then Bitcoin, from a VRVP standpoint, will have excellent support beneath it. If it drops right down here to 24 to 24.5, great. It's going to get into a giant VRVP zone. If it comes down to the point of control at 22,808, whatever, that's fine. If you guys remember from 4 months ago, 22,808 is a hugely important zone, hugely important level. If it does all of that, then that is going to be wonderful. It's going to be great. We'd love to see it. It would also fill in this VRVP gap that we have right here, at least somewhat, which would build even more support for the future. In short, if Bitcoin's rally is in danger, and it does correct down to 25,236, which at this point I do think is likely, then Bitcoin will be doing two things. Number one, it will be finishing out this correction in a very healthy way. It would be leading to about a 18 to 20% correction over the course of 2 months. It's very, very healthy. It's one of the most healthy forms of corrections you can see. One that is gradual and takes its time. From there, if it drops down to 25,236, bottoms out anywhere in this zone, anywhere in, let's just say here, anywhere in here, it bottoms out. From there, then Bitcoin would be able to bounce and rally and move aggressively to the upside. I would love to see Bitcoin drop down to this zone and then bounce and rally and move to the upside. Why? Because it would turn the transitionary zone from being this massive block of resistance, this massive zone of resistance that the market has been using as resistance over the last 6 months, and instead it would use it, it would reestablish it as a foundation upon which the entire future Bitcoin bull market shall be built. And I do believe that that's what's likely to happen at this point. I do believe it's likely at this point that Bitcoin will drop down into this box somewhere in here. And once it does, it'll bottom out somewhere in here. Exact price doesn't matter. The point is probably between 24.5 and 25.236, maybe a little higher than 25.236. It depends on the way the market looks at the day. I'm not too interested in calling it down to the dollar. But from that point, then Bitcoin would likely be able to go into a major rally. That is if Bitcoin does have its current rally fail. There's a possibility that Bitcoin holds on this downtrending level of support. It is possible that this very ugly looking cup and handle formation ends up breaking to the upside. We would just do a price target just like this, and we could break up to 29.2. If we do, great. The reason I think that is going to be difficult has to do with what we talked about in this video over here. The first 2 weeks of June have major dark clouds hanging over them. The United States is having a huge debt crisis right now, and then we've also got more than likely a lackluster and I would even say bearish CPI report and effective federal funds rate decision coming out June 14th. Now, we could be surprised with a Fed rate pause. That would be bullish for Bitcoin and crypto, but at this point, I do think I'm kind of going against what CME is saying right here. I do think that's unlikely. I think at this point, they're probably going to raise them again, at least one more time. If they don't, great. I'll be happily surprised. But the first 2 weeks of June are looking and shaping up to be relatively bearish. So, what's all that to say? I think this rally that Bitcoin has been in is in a good bit of danger. It's not over, and it's not confirmed to be over. We're in a confirmed uptrend based on Lux Algo, and that's a very powerful signal that I don't normally go against. At this point, I am concerned that that is going to be an invalid signal, and that we're going to have to wait a little while, especially considering that the take profit of this sell signal was never actually really hit because it started here at 25,700. It went down to 23 somewhere in there, and Bitcoin never really got to the take profit of this sell signal. It probably will. And that being said, this take profit buy signal right here, which is sitting between $30,000 and $33,500, will probably get hit also. I think that you're going to see a very bullish July. Let me just say this to make my point very clearly. I think you're going to see fireworks in crypto for the 4th of July. It's going to be a very, very exciting day. We went to Legoland for the 4th of July last year, and they had the greatest fireworks. It was incredible. And I think you're going to see the same thing in crypto this year. I am looking at one more drop down to potentially another $1,000 to the downside, if not even a little bit further. But from there, be encouraged. That will probably be the bottom. All right. So, a quick recap. Bitcoin has been struggling very much so with bearish price action and bearish news and fundamental developments over the last 2 months. In battling those bearish factors, Bitcoin has gone into a major correction. This lasted about 45 days and has dropped it roughly 16.5% to date. That drop will probably end up leading it 18 to 20% to correction. Bitcoin will likely not drop any more than 20% because that would be dropping Bitcoin down below $24,000 or so. I think Bitcoin will hold above $24,000. It may hold now. It's possible the bottom's already in. I do think that there's a little bit more to go. But the good news is, no matter what happens, Bitcoin has pretty much shifted its direction from bearishness to sideways. Even if we do have one more drop and then we start going into a rally, we're still generally sideways, even if there's one more correction. I do think you're going to see some bullishness coming by the end of June. moving into the second half of June, I think you're going to see some bullishness, but especially into the month of July, because it may take more time for things to turn around. It might not just be the third week of June you see a major rally. You might have to wait till July. But when things do turn around, I think this next rally that we're going to see coming, whether it starts in 2 weeks or 2 months, whatever it is, whatever the exact timeline is, when that rally occurs, and I do think it's a matter of when, not if. It's always a matter of if, truly, but I think it's more of a matter of when. When you do see that rally coming in, I do think this is the rally that's going to break Bitcoin above 32,935. That being said, stay tuned for Saturday's video because there is danger in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency market of this entire rally collapsing. You heard me right. There is danger of this entire rally collapsing. I want to preface with saying I don't think that's the most likely scenario, but it is one that we want to explore, so stay tuned for Saturday's video. I'm about to record that video as soon as Coffee and Crypto is over, and I think you guys are going to get a lot of value out of it. Again, I want to say this very clearly. I am in the bullish camp. I do think 6 months from now, Bitcoin will be trading between $35,000 and $40,000, but we always want to talk about the caveats. We always want to talk about the opposite scenario, the hedging scenario, whether or not Bitcoin is going to be able to go through its major rally or not. We want to be able to look at if we think it's going to go to the upside, what may happen if it drops, and if we think it's going to drop, what may happen if it goes up. So that hedge analysis video will be coming out on Saturday. You're not going to want to miss it because I'm going to paint a lot of reasons why the contrarians, why the bears think that this rally is in grave danger. I'm definitely going to want you to watch that video so that you have an understanding of why people think that a major correction on Bitcoin could occur. And then I'll give you my opinion on whether or not I think that's going to happen. You already have my opinion. I think Bitcoin's going to do okay, but don't forget to watch that video. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and read some chat. I really appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Make sure to go ahead and tell me what you would like to see in the stream chat. Make sure to tell me what you would like to see in the comments, and also make sure to watch the videos as well and leave your comments there. All right. I am going to have to make a video on this whole meme coin craze. Everybody's talking about Pepe. Everybody's talking about all these things. First of all, let me just give you a caveat. You can make a ton of money in meme coins if you get lucky, if you get in at the right time, if you get in early. 90% of people that invest in meme coins are going to lose money. And so that's why I'm not a fan of them. That's why I don't own any of them. I don't own Doge. I don't own Pepe. I think that there's nothing wrong with having a 1% to 2% speculative moon bag. So let me just put that out there because I'm not trying to offend everybody, but I do think it's a mistake to bet the farm on meme coins. And, you know, I read a meme this morning. It said something to the effect of, it's one of those like, you know, look at me, I'm so tough memes. It was a meme that said, funny, we're talking about meme coins. The meme that said it's better to speak the truth and offend people than to watch them hurt themselves because they didn't hear the truth in the first place. And that's kind of the position that I'm in with meme coins. I speak out against meme coins and people hate me for it because that's all the rage right now in Bitcoin and crypto. I don't mind being the bad guy so long as I'm saying what I believe is true and what I believe is going to help you guys. And I do believe that many of you guys are going to regret betting the farm on meme coins. I do think that is going to be something you regret, even if it's not right now. It might be 5-10 years from now, but that's not a strategy that is going to be a winning one. So drop a 1 in chat. Here, let me put a poll, actually. Should I make a video exposing meme coins? Oh, man. I'll just go get myself in a ton of trouble with the entire community real quick. Jeb, your advice is stellar on memes and in general. Well, thank you so much. All right. Pepe will make millionaires out of billionaires. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm not saying you can't make money on meme coins. You can, but most of them are pump and dumps, and most of them will destroy your investment portfolio if you put too much of them in. All right. Good deal. Let's read some more chat. Let's see. Can you explain what Bitcoin is coupled or inversely coupled with? Seen it dive and also seen it soar when banks fail. Long-term, historically, has it followed any other asset classes? Do a lead ask. That is a great question. Let's break it down for you. There are a few things that Bitcoin is positively correlated with, and there are a few things that Bitcoin is negatively correlated with. A positive correlation just means that whenever something goes up, Bitcoin goes up. A negative correlation is meaning the opposite. Whenever something goes down, then Bitcoin goes up, or whenever something goes up, then Bitcoin goes down. Positive correlations, very simply, are this. Bitcoin is positively correlated to the United States stock market, first and foremost. This is one of the things that is the most obvious to see, because if we just hide all of our drawings for but a moment, turn off Lux Algo, and I just show you the SPY overlaid with Bitcoin, you will see just how closely these two markets follow each other. You can see that the Bitcoin market went into a major crash here in November of 2021, and that was happening at the exact same time that the United States stock market crashed. You can see that the Bitcoin market started a recovery here in December of 2022. That was at the same time that the stock market initiated a timid recovery. You can see when stocks went on a massive bull market here in 2020 and 2021, Bitcoin was in a major bull market as well. You can see that when Bitcoin was in a major bull market in 2016 and 17, so too were stocks. When stocks were having trouble in 2018, then Bitcoin was as well. Stocks were hitting local highs. They were hitting new lows. They were hitting very, very small all-time highs and very large new local lows, and the Bitcoin market would correct with that. Even looking down to the shorter-term time frames like the daily chart, the stock market tends to follow very closely with Bitcoin. When Bitcoin is down, so too is the stock market, and when the stock market goes up, so too does Bitcoin. You can even see the correlation right here over just the last few days. Bitcoin has gone into rallies, plateaued, corrected, and rallied, plateaued, and corrected over the last week and a half with the United States SPY. Now, there's a few other things that the Bitcoin market is correlated with. The big one is, as you said, the banks failing. I guess you might call that an inverse correlation. Banks fail, Bitcoin does well. I suppose that would be an inverse correlation. When the banks are failing, many people are looking towards alternative investment vehicles because they don't want to have to rely on the FDIC to bail them out, especially if they've got over $250,000. Because if you don't know, the FDIC only insures bank account deposits up to $250,000. If you've got 750 grand in a bank and it goes belly up, you're out 500 grand. And good luck trying to get that money back, because you will be one of thousands, if not tens or hundreds of thousands of creditors that are trying to get money out of that bank that is then in bankruptcy proceedings. You can hope and pray that the government gives you a bailout, but you don't really want to rely on government bailouts now, do you? That's not a financially sovereign position to be hoping for a government handout. That's a position of dependency on the government, and I want you to be, and you should want you to be financially sovereign and independent and free. If you're relying on the government to pay your bills, then you are not free. You are instead a slave to the government. I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to say it very bluntly. If you're relying on the government, then you are in a very dangerous position. That being said, the government has one of the greatest credit ratings ever, but is doing so by taking out a huge amount of debt. All that to say, Bitcoin is positively correlated to the stock market. It is negatively correlated to banks because the banks are failing. Bitcoin's doing well. We've seen a correlation with that with SVB, Silvergate, First Republic, Credit Suisse, etc., all the other big names in the banking sector that have failed. Bitcoin also is highly inversely correlated to the Dixie. That's the dollar currency index. It's an index that tracks the strength of the United States dollar against a basket of other world reserve against a basket of other world currencies. You can see whenever the Dixie is going up, Bitcoin is going down. Whenever the Dixie is going down, Bitcoin's going up. The causal relationship there is very apparent if you just think about it for a second. Whenever the Bitcoin market is going into a rally, it is normally because the dollar is not performing very well. If people are having a lot of confidence in the United States dollar, then they're going to put their money in the dollar. They're going to exit Bitcoin, put it into the dollar, because they see that the dollar is performing very strongly. If you're a company and you're holding cash in a highly liquid form, you can choose Bitcoin or you can choose the dollar. And many companies don't look at Bitcoin as a way to hold cash, but plenty of investors do. If you're looking at a very strong dollar, then naturally you're going to put your money in the dollar. If you're looking at a very strong Bitcoin, then you're likely to put your money in Bitcoin because you want to put your money in whatever asset is likely to perform the best. And if the dollar is performing better than Bitcoin, then put it in the dollar. If the Bitcoin market is performing better than the dollar, then put it in Bitcoin. And so you see this inverse correlation where people pick one or the other. So when the Dixie's going down, Bitcoin's normally up because people say, dollar's not performing too well right now. I'll put it into Bitcoin or whatever else, whatever other foreign exchange currency. Same thing with Bitcoin same thing with the Dixie rallying. If the Dixie's rallying, then people take their money out of the Forex currencies and they take it out of Bitcoin. In this context, you can almost think of Bitcoin as another one of the Forex currencies. Dollar's doing well, you sell everything, put it into the dollar. Dollar's doing poorly, you sell the dollar and put it into everything else. You put it into the yen, you put it into the pound sterling, you put it into the Swedish kroner, whatever you put it in the Bitcoin market, whatever you want to put it into, you kind of pick one or the other and you hedge against themselves. So Bitcoin is inversely correlated to the Dixie, that being the dollar currency index. If you're on TradingView, you can just come up here, type in DXY. That will bring you to the United States dollar currency index. You can see it right over here. This is a chart on TradingView that's going to go back, I want to say about 35 years, back to the 90s. Oh, no, actually, I forgot. The TradingView actually has the Dixie going all the way back to the 60s. So you can see the strength of the dollar against everything else going back over half a century. And if you want, you can compare the BTC USD market here on a percentage scale. Not on a percentage scale, sorry, that would not work very well. On a BTC USD, on a price scale, and you can kind of see, if you just zoom in here, how the Bitcoin market has responded and acted in relation to the Dixie. Bitcoin's normally up when the Dixie's down. When the Dixie's up, Bitcoin's down. That's kind of just the way it works. There's normally one of these markets down here at the bottom, and there's normally one of these markets up here at the top. You can see it's normally not that both of them are up here at the top and both of them are down here at the bottom at the same time. They are inversely correlated. It's a very important point to understand, positive and inverse correlations. All right, so those are some of the correlations that you see on Bitcoin. There are, of course, more, but do a lead. That was a great question. Thank you so very much. All right. Let's see. Ben Cohen explains it very succinctly in his recent video. It will make you figure out, let's see. They pick gold also when Dixie's going down. Yes, that's a good point. Dixie is also inversely correlated with gold, which is funny because now that you mention it, I should probably mention that Bitcoin a lot of times is positively correlated with the gold bullion market. All right, so we've got 74% of you guys saying, should I make a video exposing meme coins? So it looks like we've got a silent majority of people watching the stream that don't like meme coins. I'm not against meme coins. I think they're funny. I think they bring some humor into the cryptocurrency space, and I'm all for humor in finance because a lot of times finance gets really dry. It gets really suit and tie and gets really dry, and I tell you what, it's just boring. And so I'm all for meme coins if they're being treated as memes, because that's what they are. If you're investing in them, that's where I think you're making a big mistake. Dua Lead said, thank you for your thorough answers, learning so much from you. Thank you. That's the dream. I want you guys to be learning and growing so that you guys can press on towards your financial sovereignty. What are your thoughts about putting a portion of the IRA into a gold IRA? I have nothing against investing in gold. I do think that gold is a, I don't like gold investment quite as much as I like Bitcoin investment. And the reason I would say that is just because gold undergoes inflation every single year. People buy gold because it's non-inflationary, but gold actually undergoes about the same amount of inflation as they target the United States dollar at. Gold undergoes between 1% and 2% of inflation every single year because there's new gold being mined, and gold's indestructible. I mean, this is 18 karat gold on my ring, on my finger. This is basically indestructible. Like you can manipulate it and you can bend it and all that, but it doesn't rust, it doesn't corrode. If you scratch it, you can just kind of put it back in its place. If you have a jeweler who knows what they're doing, it's virtually indestructible. So all the gold that gets mined in the world doesn't really go anywhere. What do you think? People are throwing gold in the landfill? No, people are being very, very careful not to get rid of that gold. So there's an increase in supply, and there's an increase in supply, and the decrease in supply is so much smaller than the increase in supply that it's actually still inflationary, even though we buy gold and people buy gold for the sake of it being deflationary. I'm not going to show all of the charts right now, but if you look at the history of gold and its supply, in fact, I might be able to find something. Global gold supply by year. Let me see if I can find like an infographic or something on this. Let me see if I can find an infographic. An infographic, I don't know if I can. I'm sure there's an infographic somewhere that shows the amount of total gold bullion that has been above ground stocks. Okay, I've got some stuff over here on gold.org. Well, here you go. This isn't really exactly what I wanted, but see over here on gold.org, tons. Total supply, 4,782.4 metric tons in 2021, 4,754.5 metric tons of supply in 2022. That's, of course, the mine production. So that's the total supply. I don't know if that's increase or that's total. I'm not sure. I haven't had a chance to actually read this article, but full year mine production was the highest. Yeah. So the point is, gold is being produced every single year. Bitcoin is slowing down its production a lot. So that's why I prefer Bitcoin. Nothing against gold. I don't think there's a problem with investing in it, but I do think you should be careful when there's a better option. I think Bitcoin is a better option. All right. Let's see. Meme coins are stupid. Where are you guys about NFTs? I think NFTs are revolutionary technology. Are revolutionary technologies. I do think that they are. So let me just put it like this. Whenever a new technology comes to market, you first have to find a way to make that technology commercially viable. So, for example, when we were developing as a civilization telecommunication, when we were developing the internet, when we were developing microwaves, when we were developing automobiles, whatever it is, you first have to find some way to make that commercially viable. You have to figure out a way to make it profitable so that industry will develop the technology to the point where it will grow. And so that's where NFTs with artwork came in. It was the first commercially viable application of that technology that could generate enough revenue to fund increasing research into that tech. And so there's a lot of value in a few, very, very few NFT artwork collections that are the beginning. You're talking about like the equivalent of the Rolex or the Bugatti of NFTs. So you're talking Bored Ape Yacht Club. You're talking, basically Bored Ape Yacht Club, and then you've also got a few others. Those NFT collections are, and they probably will forever be worth a lot of money because they were the first. They were the big dogs. They had the first mover advantage. Now, what NFTs are going to be able to help with in the next 10 years are going to be fractionalized digital ownership of anything you want. If you want to put fractionalized digital ownership on a blockchain, then you do it with an NFT. That's a huge deal because to have independently verifiable blockchain-based digital and fractionalized ownership of anything is a way for you to put trust on the blockchain, not just in a single currency fashion, but for anything. So if you want to put the ownership of my smartphone on the internet, then you can do that. If you want to put the ownership of my wallet on the phone, on the internet and on a blockchain, then you can do that. NFTs allow you to have fractionalized digital ownership of anything, and you can have a permanent, verifiable and immutable record of that ownership online. And so you can do that and have it reference a picture, or you can do that and have it reference a serial number that is only on one phone. You can have it reference a JPEG, you can have it reference a piece of technology, you can have it reference a patent, you can have it reference whatever you want. And so I don't think that it's something that is very thoroughly built out yet, but in the future, I do think it has a lot of opportunity. And I do think there's going to be a lot of opportunity in the NFT space. All right. What are your thoughts on digital real estate? I have not seen it be something that has been a great long-term viable investment other than speculation. Many of the people that bought digital real estate in Decentraland are now kind of up a creek without a paddle for the money that they put in. It's not my favorite, and the reason for that is that there's not a massively accepted medium that people invest in digital real estate with. In the real world, the vastly accepted medium for buying real estate is, well, the planet Earth. Everybody agrees that if you're going to buy real estate, you do it on Earth. Right now, with all the different metaverses going around, you've got like 50 different planets that people can buy real estate on, and you've got like the population of Luxembourg trying to buy all the land. There's way too much supply, to the point where the demand is so low, the supply is so high that you're never going to have any price stability. And you have absolutely no way of inserting free market capitalism in there. Is it a possibility in the future? If there's one medium and people are only buying real estate in one place and there is a very limited supply, maybe. We're not there, and we probably won't be there for decades if we ever get there in the first place. It's not something that I would ever do. He stole my wallet. It's not his. Pull out wallet NFT. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. All right. Let's see. My light's not swinging anymore. Nope. There we go. All right. Really appreciate all of you guys tuning in. If you're enjoying today's video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. By the way, if you guys have not already, I highly encourage you guys to sign up for Club DeFi's Principles of Technical Analysis, because over in Club DeFi, you are going to get access to over 60 videos teaching you everything that you need to know about Principles of Technical Analysis so that you guys can get started investing in these markets profitably today. Guys, I'm so excited for Principles of Technical Analysis, because in Principles of Technical Analysis, I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know to get started in TA so that you can use it as a tool in your trading and your investing so that you can push on towards financial sovereignty. I want you guys to be able to grow in your understanding of the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market so that you guys can go forth and make financial sovereignty for yourself. That's why, based on over 5 years here in like 2 months, over 6 years of experience doing TA on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency markets, I have been working on Club DeFi's Principles of Technical Analysis to teach you guys so that you can grow and learn. I highly recommend investing in your education, and the reason is very simple. Investment in your education is the gate and key towards success in anything. If you want to be financially sovereign, the thing stopping you from getting there is discipline plus knowledge. You've got to know what to do, and then you've got to have the discipline to actually do it. I can't give you the discipline, although I can teach you all day about how to get it for yourself, but what I can do is I can teach you about the knowledge that you need to unlock the secrets of technical analysis and trading and investing so that you can reach forward towards that financial sovereignty. That is my vision and mission for you guys. I want you guys to be able to be successful in your life, not have to worry about your money, not have to worry about making ends meet, but be freed up to go and pursue whatever purpose it is that you have on your life, whatever calling and destiny it is that you have. I want you to be able to be freed up to go and do that. And I'm very excited to share with you guys principles of technical analysis for that reason. So make sure to sign up for it with the link in the description box down below. And also make sure, if you have not already, to sign up for Lux Algo using coupon code JEB30, JEBB30 for 30% off at checkout, so that you guys can start using Lux Algo to find out where the market's moving next and make some profitable trades and investments. Very excited to see you guys growing in that. All right. Good deal. I really appreciate all of you tuning in. We are going to wrap it out, and I am going to go work on that Saturday video. If you haven't already, I really would encourage you to go back and watch this video on the United States going bankrupt. I think you're going to be very blessed with it. I'm very happy with the way the editing turned out. I'm very happy with all the knowledge, all the knowledge that we were able to impart on you and the planning of it. I think it's one of the most concise videos I've ever made. I'm really working on not being as long-winded, but getting the point across as succinctly and easily as I possibly can, because I think that helps with the process of learning. If it's not just information overload, but there's information, but it's presented in a different way. So I'm really excited about the way that video was planned and the way that it was shot and executed and edited. I'm just so excited about it. Even though it didn't get a ton of views, I know that we're on the right track. I know that the videos like this are going to bring you guys a lot of value. So I'm really excited to share them with you. So just make sure you check it out if you will, even if it's just to humor me. Even if you're not even interested in what it's about, just humor me and tell me in the comment section down below, how do you think I did making that video? I'm the one doing all of the work on the videos. I do all the planning. I do all the research. I do all the shooting, obviously. I do all the editing. I built all the set. Our employee helped us a lot with this, Malachi. But right now, it's just me working on the videos. I'm very excited about that. I love working on the art of videos. So make sure you check it out if you would humor me to do so. Hopefully, you'll learn something at the same time. All right, guys. Let's see if there's any final comments I want to address before we leave. Education incorporates rational and objective analysis versus a person who is... Yes. We got some hate comments here. I don't know why those two things have to contradict, Matt. I don't know why those two things have to contradict. I do wonder why you think those two things contradict. I can give you a logical answer to everything I believe if you'd be interested in hearing it. All right. Really appreciate you tuning in, though. I'm glad to see you, Matt. I'm glad you're here. We love you. All right, guys. I do appreciate all of you tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it out. Before we go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.